Hey, it's your favorite reporter Hayden here. About to take the train down to a town in Staten Island called St. George, where they plan on building the New York Wheel. It's about a 10-minute train ride from my house, so it's not too bad getting there. Once I'm down there, I'm going to show you the area for the site where they plan on building the wheel, also the area surrounding it. And then later on today, I have a scheduled meeting with Staten Island Borough President James Otto, and he's going to tell me a little about the project itself and his viewpoints on how it's going to affect the culture in St. George and then overall Staten Island as well. So I'll catch up once I get there. Hey, I just got off the train in St. George now. I'm taking a little walk on the landscape and also looking at the view that the Ferris wheel is supposed to overlook. It's a beautiful, cold March day here in Staten Island on the harbor. So I'll show you a little bit of that in a little bit. So here I am in the outskirts of where the Ferris wheel is supposed to be built. There's a little walkway, and there's that famous cherished Staten Island view that so many people around here. And the major reason why the wheel is an ongoing issue with the local population here. So there it is, quite beautiful, and yeah, that's pretty much what's being desired here, the building of the wheel. Here you see there's a barge that's being used to build the wheel, and also we got the Staten Island Ferry right there. Yeah, so that's just a little sneak peek at the way they're building it, and we'll see more in a few minutes. I apologize about the wind. It's probably a little noisy, definitely a little cold, so I apologize in advance about that if the sound quality is a little bad. But that's just what you get when you're down by the harbor in March. So I'm about to go into my scheduled meeting with Staten Island Borough President James Otto. We're going to discuss the situation at hand, the building of the Ferris wheel, and actually over email he said there was another part of the project that was being planned, that it was a shopping center called the Empire Outlets that's going to be adjacent to the wheel. And I mean, some people might see it as a good thing, some people obviously don't agree with that. So we're going to discuss that a little further and see how it's going to shape the area a little more, or some people might believe how it's going to destroy the area a little bit more. So I'm going to go in to the building, the Borough Hall, and I'll discuss what we talk about later after the interview. So there it is. That's the Staten Island Borough Hall, where Borough President James Otto has his office. So I'm going to walk across the street, talk to him for a little while. Obviously no film and no cameras, no recordings, because politicians tend not to like that. Public officials don't really like to be recorded when they're talking about controversial issues that are going on. So I'm gonna go talk to him, see how that goes, and then I will be back in a little while. Hey, so I just got out of my meeting with James Otto. Awesome man. I've actually talked with him before. I've met him because my high school won the local city championship for baseball, and he actually went to my high school. So kinda, I'm gonna say I'm best friends with him, but you know, I knew him. I met him a few times before that, and so he was very friendly with me. I'm wearing my high school baseball sweatshirt, so he knew where I was from. Also, yeah, so the conversation was smooth. We talked about the wheel and the outlets, everything that's going on with that. I'll elaborate on it in a little while. Right now I'm going to go and look at the physical site for where the Ferris wheel and the outlets themselves are being built. You can see lots of construction going on. It's a little hectic right now, but almost, it's I think 2 years they said 2 to 4 years or something is how long it's supposed to take. So obviously it started a few months ago. It's not even close to being done, but we're gonna go check it out and see how it's going. So here I am, I'm walking through the ferry terminal and I see a little sideshow going on displaying some things regarding the wheel and how it's supposed to look, and also the Empire outlets themselves. That's a little sneak preview of what it's supposed to look like. Those are the outlets. It's very, very nice, but I'm not sure how people... There's the wheel. 36 capsules apparently. 650 feet tall. It's a little bit of a controversial issue going on, but we'll see how it looks when, or if it's even going to be made in the first place. There's the outlets again, how they're going to look, and that's just a map. But yep, so that's a little sneak preview of what the 2 construction projects are supposed to look like. So here I am walking, and they actually have quite a bunch of the outlet construction done. It's looking pretty complete. I guess 2 more years it'll be fully complete, but someone like me, it looks somewhat complete. Here's a little sneak preview of the way the outlets are supposed to be looking. I'm gonna investigate a little further and see what it looks like on the front, from the front, like a little front view of it instead of the side here. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so here I am. Behind me is the rest of the construction being done on the Empire outlets. Doesn't look like it's close to being finished. From what I saw from the side, it looks pretty complete, but I guess that's just the one side that they got going. So here's a little sneak preview. That's what it's supposed to look like. The borough president talked to me a little bit about the rest of the work and how it's supposed to come, the effect on the local community, also the specific shops, stores, and restaurants that it's supposed to entail and contain within the outlets themselves. So once I get home, I'm going to summarize it a little bit more for you guys, and yeah, so I'll summarize that in a little while. A little bit more of the Empire outlets construction. As you can see, it's still going on and they got a lot to do, so that's pretty much a little bit more of it. So here we have a more quiet area, more of the outlets that are being built. It looks like it's going to be a very large mall placed smack in the middle of downtown St. George in Staten Island, right in the middle of the cultural area where there's so much heritage and just tradition, and people really aren't liking it that much. It's going to change the culture a lot in the area, give it a different feel, less vintage, less traditional. It's not what people are used to, so clearly they're not going to be too thrilled about it, but at the same time a lot of people are, because it's going to bring a lot of revenue to the island as well. Down here is actually the spot where the wheel is supposed to be built, so down there in that green fencing, that's supposed to be where the Ferris wheel is supposed to be built. It's going to be a big project. I'm not sure if I'm going to see if I can try to get into the area itself. It looks pretty gated off, so I don't think I'm going to be able to, but yeah, so that's pretty much the area. I'm going to walk down and see if I can get in real quick. So I can't physically get into the site itself. It's gated off and there's security guards around, so I'm not looking to get into any trouble with the law here. I'm investigating, I'm not trespassing, so I'm going to keep my distance here. But here is the area where the wheel is going to be. As you can see, that's the backside of the outlet mall. They have the glass up. People are going to be able to look right outside, and the wheel is going to be directly right where that orange and white lining is. Possibly over here on the rocks too. I'm not sure if they're planning on extracting a lot of those to make room for the wheel itself. That barge is being used to bring a lot of the supplies, the metal, the containers, everything that's supposed to be used for the wheel. That little, actually not little, gigantic barge over there is being brought over here in front of the outlets, behind the outlets, excuse me, and wheel is going to be right here. And then also, again, that's the view from the Ferris wheel from Staten Island. You got Brooklyn, Queens over there, Manhattan skyline, and it just follows it along all the way up. That's what's being battled for here. That's what the Ferris wheel is attracting people with, and that is what the residents of Staten Island are protecting so dearly and so wholeheartedly. It's a big controversy, and personally, I don't know what's going to happen because it's pretty strong-sided both ways. So that's the area of the Outlet Mall and the Ferris wheel itself. And yeah, I'm happy to have investigated it and been down here myself to really get a feel for it myself. So I'm happy I came down here. I'm glad I saw what I saw today. So I'm back home now after a long day of investigating. I had my interview / meeting with James Otto. Very personable guy, very awesome, very willing to meet with me. I'm very appreciative of that. I thanked him. Unfortunately, I couldn't record it, as I said before, but we did discuss the Ferris wheel, which unfortunately I couldn't get into the site itself, but I did show it in the video before, and then also the Empire Outlets, which I just found out about today, but it's a very big part of the project as well. So I actually got more footage of the outlets than the Ferris wheel, which is unfortunate because most of the project is based off of the Ferris wheel, but that's okay. We talked about it, and I will discuss more specific questions that I asked him in the interview section of the research journal. But just know that he did give me lots of information. He is a supporter of the project and the construction that's going on, but he did acknowledge the opposing side, the people that don't agree with it, and he was very cool about it, very down to earth. We talked about it, and it was a good interview. So I'll include more of that in the interview section, but other than that, it was a successful day of researching and investigating, and I'll tell you more about that in the other parts of the research journal. Thank you. So here I am, finishing my research journal, and I'm ready to reflect on each part of it and how it helped me to further my argument and my understanding of the topic at hand in the research. So upon visiting the place, I was able to physically endure and experience the issues in the community itself, the noise, the major construction going on, and the way it's obstructing the community itself, traffic, pollution, lots of things, and it helped me really understand the public view of why they dislike the ongoing construction of the New York Wheel, as well as the Empire Outlets itself. My artifacts, upon doing research on my artifacts, I pulled up some demographics, some charts in comparison to other Ferris wheels in the world, and lots of images from my visiting place experience, and that allowed me to really understand how just large this project is and how it's really going to affect the community as a whole. It's truly a tremendous project, and upon studying the artifacts, it really helped me to further understand how it will affect the society, especially this one that showed the finishing product of the Ferris wheel, and it's going to be like a tremendous feat, but alter the community severely, and I understand that now upon looking at artifacts and doing some personal research. The archives, I was able to find some maps of Old St. George, and the way it looked back then is just how it looks now, and I understand now that is completely necessary in the argument of why the people of St. George and Staten Island really want to preserve the history, the culture, just the general feel of the society and the community there. It really dates back to their roots, and people tend not to like change, especially when it's deep rooted in their daily lifestyles. And I understand that now looking at the archives. Also, I pulled up some archives of similar situations from history, some like general displeasure of the Eiffel Tower, or Another example was the American colonists and their displeasure of severe taxation from King George and Great Britain, which are both related topics to the New York Wheel because of the taxes that are going to be placed on the people of the community to cover the expense of the project itself, as well as it's a tremendous structure being placed just like the Eiffel Tower was, and just as a majority of the French population was upset about the construction of the Eiffel Tower when it first went up, it's the same thing with Staten Island and the people of St. George, the way they're reacting to it. So I understand now that it's something that's placed, it's instilled within society to not want major change, especially when your culture is rooted in what you have and you take pride in what it is. So I understand that completely now. And then lastly, my interview with James Otto, the borough president of Staten Island. He gave me insight on the Empire Outlets shopping plaza that I didn't know was a thing until I met with him and talked with him. And he helped me learn that, of course, furthering my want for preservation within the society. But it was something I didn't know, and I was happy that he let me know that. And then also, he is a supporter. He's actually one of the main people that presented the idea in the first place. He really fought to get a lot of bills signed and have the project itself approved. He sees great revenue, great tourism. He thinks it's going to be a good thing for the borough itself. So he's a great supporter of the topic at hand. So he helped me understand the opposing side and the opinions that go into it. Although he didn't convince me, I'm now aware of everything of the other side of the argument. So I have insight on both sides. I still feel the way that I do, but he really allowed me to understand and further my knowledge on the topic at hand, which then allowed me to do my research more efficiently and present it in a way that was understandable. So that's my experience with my research journal. That's my reflection on the parts of the project. And yeah, so thank you.